Mr. President, I believe climate change remains the greatest moral challenge of our time. The irony is it is the poorest and the smallest countries with the least contribution of greenhouse gases which are paying the ultimate price.
We look at our children and wonder how they will know themselves or their culture should we lose our islands.
Our challenge to the international community is to take bold measures to reduce emission of all greenhouse gases to level that ensure a viable and meaningful future for states like Tonga.
The United Nations cannot and must not allow the biggest greenhouse gas emitters to turn away from their moral duty and responsibility to urgently reduce greenhouse gas emissions.
Those who have contributed to this crisis the least suffer the most, physically, existentially, and ecologically. This is an injustice that must end.
This is a very special unifying moment. In adopting the Paris Agreement, all 196 countries in this room have joined the High Ambition Coalition.
My fellow political leaders, our response to climate change should never depend on whether our domestic response to climate change would get us re-elected in the next elections.
Vanuatu has heard the strong call and expectation from grassroots youth movements and indeed over 1,500 civil society organizations from around the world to draft a forward-looking, indeed intergenerational question.
Pacific youth have rallied behind the cry, "We are not drowning, we are fighting."
Over the past 3 days, Pacific leaders came together here in Port Vila, Vanuatu in the aftermath of 2 Category 4 cyclones and a nationwide state of emergency to address the cause of the climate crisis, fossil fuels. Building on the legacy of the Pacific's leadership and standing on the shoulders of giants, ministers met over the 3 days to determine the region's pathway towards forging a fossil fuel-free future. With climate change wreaking havoc all over the Pacific and communities grappling with the impacts of extreme weather and the prospect of losing their homes, leaders came to Vanuatu with one goal: to inspire the world once again to take concrete action and ensure we meet the aims of the Paris Agreement, limiting warming to 1.5 degrees by immediately phasing out fossil fuels through a just transition. And on the final day, a historic decision was reached, with Pacific ministers unanimously calling for the creation of a fossil fuel-free Pacific, committing to spearheading the pathway towards a global, just, and equitable transition away from coal, oil, and gas. Niue, the Kingdom of Tonga, Solomon Islands, and Fiji joining Tuvalu and Vanuatu in calling for a fossil fuel non-proliferation treaty.
I'm so proud to be part of this historical moment where the Pacific once again shows what true climate leadership looks like. And I hope that more countries join this voyage towards a fossil fuel-free future.